What really works in education.
Teaching assistants, commonly known as TAs, are adults who support teachers and pupils in the classroom.
Between 2013 and 2014, there was a 6.4% increase in the number of TAs found in English and Welsh schools.
And over 1/4 of England's school workforce is comprised of TAs.
34% were located in the primary school sector, and 15% of these were higher level teaching assistants.
This change was largely influenced by the need to include greater numbers of children with SEND in mainstream schools. Initial analysis of the EEF toolkit indicated that there is a high cost attached to the use of TAs in school, with each member of staff equating to £1,200.
Additionally, the educational tool only scores 2 out of 5 padlocks, indicating that there is little meta-analysis evidence associated with TAs.
Probably most concerning is the result on pupil impact, which shows that only 1 month of improvement can be obtained using TAs in the classroom.
It's been approximated that a total of £4.4 billion is spent on deploying TAs in a year.
Despite their costs, there is many positive outcomes from using TA support in the classroom. Some sources argue that TAs reduce teachers' stress and workload because they can take on paperwork and admin tasks. However, others argue that in some cases they may increase it, as teachers have to be responsible for the management of another adult.
There are benefits in terms of classroom management, as the presence of a TA reduces the amount of non-classroom chatter.
In addition, they can create an environment where children are confident to take ownership of their studies by scaffolding learning.
Thanks, Vygotsky!
As well as fostering good relationships with and between children, TAs can build equally successful relationships with parents, creating links between the classroom and home life. Unfortunately, our research has led us to believe that whilst there are positive effects attributed to the use of TAs, the negatives may outweigh them.
The DIS project has proved that the more support pupils receive, the less progress they make statistically. They are categorised as 2 sub-levels below their peers.
Compared to the average attaining pupils, these children spend over 1/4 of the week away from their class teacher and peers.
And on these occasions, TAs were required to take on a responsibility for differentiating tasks, often lacking time to prepare and the opportunity to liaise with the teacher.
TA's focus is often on task completion and pupils' understanding of their learning. All of the sources we looked at discuss a general lack of training and general inability of TAs to attend training due to practical considerations related to time, costs, travel, and lack of payment for attendance.
We interviewed a teacher to get first-hand opinions on the use of TAs in the classroom.
I've had 3 TAs in my time of teaching, and I think that you as a teacher have to find time in the lesson. So if they come in early, it's great. If not, you have to find time throughout the day. And I've done it so that my children are independent from 20 to 9 till 9 o'clock, and I use that time to program my TA until break. I think that's very much down to the teacher, and I think they have a more positive effect in Key Stage 1 than they do Key Stage 2 because of the teaching styles and the differences there. I think that my TAs have a positive effect because I place them specifically and we have a good relationship, so it does depend on the teacher. They're never with a specific child unless that child is statemented and they're there one-to-one. I generally have them mixing from less able, middle table and more able, but I generally don't plan for them to be with anyone until I've done the input to see what table or group will benefit most from having them. But I do use them for intervention groups, so during my input my TA will take out small groups.
Research has shown that TA's actions seem insufficient to close the attainment gap between pupils, and their effectiveness in the classroom could be improved in a number of ways.
One way to improve this is to provide continuous training to help them manage the growing number of support staff with who they work with.
TAs also need to be given the opportunity to develop their pedagogical knowledge to maximise the potential of pupils. Communication between TAs is essential for joint planning, feedback and evaluation in order to ensure best practice and the most effective deployment to all students, not just those with SEND or who are categorised as lower attaining.
If possible, TAs should work on a one-to-one basis, as research has shown that this has a greater impact on pupil attainment.
It is important to avoid a state where pupils become dependent on adult support, as studies have shown that this limits cognitive development.
However, the best way to ensure that TAs are making a difference in the classroom is to conduct more research in how TAs can positively affect pupil attainment.